Energy credits. They're kind of a necessity if you want to buy anything on the exchange. But valuable items on the exchange, like ships, traits, gear, stuff like that, are getting more and more expensive. So I thought I'd take the time to talk about a few things that I do to earn a little bit of extra EC in-game. I'm going to go over 5 different ways to help with your EC grind in Star Trek Online. These first 2 are going to seem a little bit obvious, but they're worth going over anyway. Number 1 is your endeavors. Completing your daily endeavor challenges will give you a reward box. These boxes will have random rewards inside of them, and energy credits are one of the possible rewards. There are other possible rewards in these boxes, so EC is not a guarantee, and the amount will always be random, but keeping up with your endeavors can be a good way to help with your EC grind. Number 2 is Admiralty. Like with your endeavor prizes, EC is not a guarantee from Admiralty missions either, but keeping up with them on a regular basis can still reward a decent amount of EC. One of the nice things about the Admiralty missions is that you actually know which ones will reward EC. Not only can you see the standard rewards in the results section, but certain event modifiers can also reward additional EC, so keep an eye out for those. Number 3 is also a pretty simple suggestion. Sell your loot. Loot drops all the time in pretty much any part of the game that has combat in it. But there is one part of the game where you can get a really nice amount of loot very easily, in patrols, particularly ones that have multiple waves of enemies. The 4 patrols I really like for this strategy are Rescue and Search, Ninth Rule, Within the Briars, and Trouble Over Turb. I'll typically do at least one of these patrols, kill all the waves of enemies as quickly as possible, and then gather all the loot before I warp out. Now, the faster you kill each wave, the more loot will drop, so you'll want to go in with a build that's capable of destroying multiple enemies at once. So Cannon Scatter Volley, Fire at Will, EPG, or Torpedo builds would be really good for these. Now, when you actually sell the loot, don't just throw it in your recycler in your inventory. Actually go to a vendor and sell it there, because you'll actually get more EC from one of them, as long as that vendor isn't Ferengi. No joke, Ferengi vendors will actually give less EC. Number 4 on this list is a daily mission called Tour the Galaxy. This mission can be found in the Available tab of your journal menu, and involves you flying to several marked star systems within the Alpha and Beta quadrants. You'll have a 15-minute timer to visit as many as you can. Each system you visit will give you a bit of EC. Visiting every single marked system will reward a little bit over 1 million energy credits. In order to visit every single system, there are 4 things you'll want to have. A full Miracle Worker ship, so you'll have the cyclical quantum slipstream drive, because that version of the slipstream drive has the longest duration. The assimilated engine from the Omega Task Force reputation, and the warp core from the Gamma Task Force reputation, because both of these will increase your speed in sector space, and a console called Polaric Modulator, which is rewarded from the episode Delta Flight, which will increase your turn rate while in slipstream. There are also 2 starship traits I would recommend. Synthetic Good Fortune off the Equinox Pilot Scout ship, which will also buff your speed in sector space, and Extensively Modified Warp Core off of the legendary Intrepid, which will increase your speed and turn rate while in slipstream. Now, I know that second trait is rather expensive because it's from the 10th anniversary bundle, so if you don't have access to either of these traits, don't worry about it. Honestly, those first 4 items are already pretty overkill for getting this done within the 15-minute time period. Adding these 2 traits will just make this go even faster. Of all the methods on this list, this is probably the most reliable for earning energy credits, and that's because there's no RNG involved. If you complete the whole thing, you will always get the same amount of EC every time. As I said earlier, this is a daily mission, so you can only do it once every 20 hours, but the cooldown is applied per character, so the more characters you're doing this mission with, the more EC you can potentially earn. And now, number 5 on this list is how to turn your fleet credits into energy credits. And the answer to that question is by buying and selling duty officers. On the Fleet Starbase, there is a vendor that will sell random duty officers in exchange for fleet credits. You'll be able to pick the quality of these duty officers, and have the option to choose what division they come from, but other than that, there will be a completely random duty officer inside of a box. Now, when you open that box, the duty officer inside will not be bound, so you have the option to sell it on the exchange. Now, the best ones to pick up are generally going to be the engineering duty officers. That's because these have a chance to drop technicians, which are crucial for an Aux to Bat build, so they're going to be more in demand than any other kind of duty officer. Though remember, the duty officers inside will always be random, so technicians will not be a guarantee. So yeah, those are some things that I do to earn some extra energy credits in-game. Now, obviously you're not going to get rich overnight doing these things, but they can make some in-game purchases a little easier with time. Like I said, these are just some things that I do myself. If there's anything that you do differently to earn some extra EC, please let me know in the comments. I'm sure anyone watching this video is eager to hear more options. Anyway, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I know, every time, but it's YouTube. It really does help the channel and I do appreciate it. My name's Stu, and I will see you guys next time.